So welcome to my review of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. This is a collection of all the old Street Fighter games. All of them. And that's saying something. I have here all the original collections. There's been so many of them over the years, and you've only been able to play some games on some collections, only some games on other collections, or you had the arcade games at home like I do for Street Fighter. But as I say, they're all over the place. Even for me, I have the, obviously Alpha 3 and Alpha 2 on PS1. I love these games. I want to be able to play them on consoles. Also, I want to be able to play Street Fighter 1 on consoles. You can finally do that now. You don't need these collections. It's all in one. And I'm really happy to say this is the best Street Fighter compilation that has ever been released on the planet. Really, I have them all. I can say that. I was playing through this and I was like, this is everything that I've ever wanted in a compilation disc of games. And what we have here is all the Street Fighter games from 1 to 2 to Turbo, Hyper Fighting, all that stuff, all the way up to Street Fighter 3, Second Impact, Third Strike. It is unbelievable, and all the games in between. We got 12 Street Fighter games, and they look beautiful. I want to say just for playing the games right now, they look amazing. But what's really cool is you can change the filters. So you can do like a TV filter, an arcade filter. You can also, if you want to, make it the original size. You can stretch it to widescreen as well if you would really want that. Or you can, fit it to your TV. And let me say the default settings are the best, I think. I'm super happy with those. But what else comes here? The thing that makes it so good is there is so much included on the disc. There's a museum mode, and it has a history of all of the Street Fighter games. It gives you a history of going from Street Fighter 1 all the way up to Third Strike. And the details within are really something else. There's also an explanation of every single Street Fighter character through that entire series of games, 12 games. And here's something that was unexpected. I didn't think we'd get in this. It is all of the music for all of the games on this disc. So for every single game, say just for Street Fighter 2, every single sound effect and music track is on there. Bonus tracks, all that for bonus levels, they're all there for every single game. And it was wonderful. The first thing I did was go to Second Impact and play one of my favorite songs. Very nostalgic about that one song. I really like Second Impact. I played it quite a lot on the Dreamcast, and I could finally play it now in all of its arcade glory. And I didn't think that I would get this music collection of every game, so I was like, this is really good. And they spent so much time and so much care with this museum that there's also a making of Street Fighter. And it's unbelievable. I have every single Street Fighter book in the world, and there was bits in this that I've never seen before for how they did the animation for the characters. There's also the Street Fighter pitch document where it shows you what Street Fighter 2 was going to be and what Street Fighter 1 was going to be before it became what it did, and how the characters were originally going to look and all that, and that was fascinating. And they also have that for Street Fighter Alpha and for Street Fighter 3. Some really good behind the scenes stuff, and it was magical. Honestly, I had so much fun over the weekend playing these old games. They're not just old games for me. This has been about my life. Street Fighter is such a huge part of my life that I could finally go and play Street Fighter 1 again. And it controls very goofy and unusually. It's Street Fighter 1. It's always been that way. But I was having so much fun. I was pulling off fireballs. I was like, yes, I can do that in Street Fighter 1. And it's a real history lesson, this compilation. So you can see where Street Fighter started from and see how it progressed all the way through. When they started doing all of the upgrades, and you'd have like Super Street Fighter and continue on from there, going into, the Alpha 1 and then Alpha 2 and then Alpha 3. really something else. And you can see the progress of the games. And I was on this weird history thing for myself. I was like, this is so amazing. The amount of work and level of detail has gone into these games, of the gameplay, the mechanics over the years. It's a real work of art. And that's what I kind of say for the fighting game genre. We have a Street Fighter compilation that is really a look at the art form. And that's what I'm going to say about this. This is a look back in history. And it was like, I was looking at some games and it gives you the date that they were released on, stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, that came out in 97? And I'm like, really? And some of the games I'm like, oh, I thought that came out earlier. So it was really a really interesting history lesson, even for me, because I played all of these games the second they were out. I even played Street Fighter 1 in arcades, and I was blown away hitting those big buttons back then. This is really something that I'm gonna say, if you like Street Fighter, you gotta get this collection. It's absolutely flawless. There's also some other modes I want to mention. There's obviously online mode, and for doing the reviewing process, there wasn't a lot of people I could fight online, unfortunately, so I couldn't really connect to a lot of people. But there's some really neat offline modes. So, as I say, they have all the old arcade games the way they originally were, but there's a versus mode, so you can just go in and pick your level straight away and fight against your friend. That's like a quick mode just to jump into any stage you want, which is great. And there's also a mode where you can just do training, and so you pick your characters, you have unlimited, health, and limited, your bars are full, and you can just practice away. And I was having so much fun playing Street Fighter 3 and just spending my time, and I found myself playing this game a lot more than I thought I would, and I was like, this is really something else. And anyways, I could really go on and on about this, but I can't say enough, if you're a Street Fighter fan, how fantastic this is. It's the best compilation disc I have ever seen. And as I say, I have, look at these that have come out during the years. This like right here, and holy, there's just been so many of them. Never mind the PSP versions. It's nice to have one place to play all the original Street Fighters, and I can't wait to get Rob over and kick his ass in Street Fighter Alpha 2 again, one of my favorite Street Fighter games of all time. So anyways, guys, until next time.